As technology evolves and improves, industries must also be prepared to adapt in order to stay competitive. And the legal field is no exception. Over the past several years, in particular, numerous technological advancements have transformed the field of law and legal landscape as we know it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Analytics Insight podcast, where we talk about the ever evolving tech space. And I'm your host, Priya Dialani. Keeping up with the latest laws, rules, and legal concepts is critical for individuals in the legal field. The conventional image of a lawyer reading over reams of document is no longer relevant. The rise of legal technology is transforming this profession. Observing the rapid growth of technology in this day and age, we can all attest to the fact that technology is now significantly dominating and transforming most aspects of our lives, including law enforcement and maintenance of social order. Let's welcome Deepak Kapoor, founder of ManuPatra, to discuss how AI is impacting the legal industry, changing lawyers' role, and the future. Hi, Deepak. How are you doing? Welcome to our podcast.
You for inviting me to the podcast. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Great, glad to know that, Deepak. And of course, when you talk about the legal industries, there are so many controversies and debates surrounding around the use of technology in this particular industry. And I think we are going to unlock a lot about it in our conversation today. So let's start by telling our listeners more about Manupatra, its specialization, and alongside that, we would also like to know more about you, Deepak. How has your journey been till date, and what led you to found a Manupatra and your role towards the company today?
Thank you. ManuPatra is built for the Indian legal ecosystem. We conceptualized 26 years back that India needed an online legal ecosystem because India's legal and regulatory landscape is huge, fragmented, and continuously evolving. We have thousands of judgments being pronounced on a daily basis, statutes in hundreds being passed by various state governments, central governments, not to talk about the notification and the circulars which are issued by various states and central government and their departments. The problem with the legal professional is they need to access this information on a timely basis, but also to extract the relevant portion from this, as all these are very time sensitive documents. We started off as a traditional method of legal research, which was basic online search with Boolean search. But over a period of time, we realized and we moved on as the technology grew. The approaches currently are very inefficient, and frequently the old ones were inefficient, and frequently they produce incomplete or irrelevant results. We realized all this as the legal teams face significant challenges in ensuring accuracy, timelines, and decision making. This is further compounded by a variety of stakeholders. You have lawyers who struggle to extract meaningful insights and relationships from large volume of case laws, compliance team which face difficulty in tracking applicable regulations across jurisdictions, timelines and obligations, litigators who have to manage multiple cases, timelines, court schedules simultaneously, and contract teams which lack visibility into key clauses, risks, and renewed obligations. All these inefficiencies lead to increased legal risk, missed compliance deadlines, and reduced operational effectiveness. Manupatra is a full stack AI driven legal intelligence platform integrating research, compliance, contracts, litigation management, and analytics into one ecosystem. The product suite comprises of our flagship product Manupatra, ManuWorks AI, which includes drafting, translation, OCR, timeline generation, RAG, summary, etc. ManuComply, an automated compliance management tool. My Case, which is a litigation and IP case management, tracking and document management suite. Manu Contract, our AI-driven contract lifecycle management, and our latest product, Manu Reader, and a citation verifier. Together, these products address the end-to-end workflow of a modern legal or compliance function. from researching a question of law to drafting a contract, tracking regulatory compliance obligations, and managing litigation milestones. This, in brief, was ManuPatra. About my role, I am a finance professional who started a career in industry, moved on to financial services, and then, as luck would have been, moved on to services industry where I started a ManuPatra. It started with a simple belief that technology can make the practice of law more accessible, efficient, and informed. What started as a garage idea has gradually grown into a platform that many in the legal community rely on today. Our journey has been guided by purpose led innovation and a strong focus on the needs of our users. I have been fortunate to work with an incredible team that helped shape ManuPatra into a trusted name in India's legal tech space. There's still a long way to go, and we continue to see this as an ongoing learning experience rather than a finished success.
Great, Deepak. Thank you for that great overview about ManuPatra, its products and services. And, it's interesting how the company is at the forefront of leveraging technology and related advancements in terms of transforming the legal industry. And of course, with your role aligned with it, our audience would be very glad to understand about the company and about you as well. Moving ahead, Deepak, when we talk about the legal industry, I think it faces mounting challenges, rising cost pressures, talent retention issues, and the complexities of evolving regulations and data privacy. Firms must also adapt to rapid tech advancements, particularly AI, to stay competitive while meeting clients' increasing demands for speed and efficiency. From streamlining client interactions to unlocking strategic insights, AI is already reshaping the legal industry by boosting productivity and profitability. How do you think AI is fundamentally transforming the legal industry today, and where are we seeing the most immediate impact?
AI has to be treated as a friend or a junior associate and not to be afraid of. What we are currently noticing is AI is automating very rudimentary and mundane tasks which used to take a long time, was done by the junior most lawyers. Tasks such as summarizing, creating timelines from a judgment or from multiple orders, creating a Q&A of a judgment, translation, where law firms spend a lot of money getting it done from outside resources and spending significant amount of money, and the most important, drafting. AI is automating all these mundane works. Coming to contract lifecycle management, AI is extracting the key clauses, comparing it with an existing playbook, and helping in drafting new contract based on past precedences. AI in legal research is now deeply ingrained, where semantic search is the rule which helps a user get its precise question answered along with a detailed analysis.
Yes, Deepak.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's a really powerful perspective because, it really highlighted that it is no longer just a support tool, but strategic enabler across the legal ecosystem. And, is I think the most important part is that these technologies like AI is not improving efficiency, but also reshaping how legal professionals allocate their time, moving away from repetitive process heavy work towards more nuanced and high value advisory roles. And it will be really fascinating to see how firms and legal departments will navigate this shift, not just from a tech standpoint, but also in terms of talent and regulation transformation as well. Moving ahead, Deepak, of course, when you talk about AI, generative AI is also, I think it is still grappling with what generative AI means for the legal profession. Like you mentioned, we need to treat AI like a junior assistant lawyer, like a friend. And many of the generative AI applications are in, like, the role of junior lawyer. Like producing first drafts of legal work or carrying out activities like legal research that otherwise would take a real lawyer hours to undertake. But These kinds of applications face the same issue. The output of generative AI is not always accurate and nearly always requires human oversight. The accuracy of LLMs has improved over the last couple of years, but for the most part, the legal profession is one where many lawyers strive for total accuracy 100% of the time. So, how reliable is generative AI when it comes to high stakes legal work? And where do you think organization can draw the line on its usage?
We hear this every day, every hour from our stakeholders. In AI systems, training is primarily based on data, logical analysis, and patterns. It misses out on human perceived value, such as emotions, intuition, and subjective judgments that are not part of the training data. Thus, we should keep a reliance on this. Secondly, and more importantly, any AI generated material has limited reliability. It needs to be cross verified with human in the loop. It has a tendency to hallucinate, give incorrect case citation. Then, more importantly, for law firms, especially, is data privacy. When you are inputting a document of a client on an open source LLM, rest be assured it is being trained by the LLM for their future use. That is why we always insist on our products, whether it's drafting, translation, etc. We have given you the first cut. Please review it thoroughly by a human, which people are appreciating because we are stating this fact upfront. It has to be checked and verified by a lawyer. Secondly, all our products have a verifiable content. To explain further, if we generate a citation or a case or a notification, one can click directly there and see the source document. So one is assured that what they're reading is from the primary source and not from the World Wide Web. The other question which I like to address, what you raised, was the LLM. See, generally today, the LLMs of the large companies, international companies, have been trained on horizontal data and not on legal data per se. That is why one sees a lot of hallucination, incorrect answers, etc. So over a period of time, we do expect some companies to come out with a legal LLM where most of these issues would be sorted out, not eliminated.
That's a critical perspective, Deepak, and it really highlights the fine balance organizations need to strike as they integrate generative AI into the legal workflows. But while AI can significantly improve efficiency, whether it's research or reviewing contracts, the margin for error in legal contexts is incredibly small. The consequences can be far reaching. And of course, human oversight will still remain central to any high stakes legal decision process. But of course, they can definitely use AI alongside, but ensuring that human oversight is still there. Great. Moving forward, Deepak, of course, we are witnessing legal professionals are using AI to streamline research or draft pleadings and synthesize legal arguments. However, these systems, AI systems, operate on probabilistic prediction rather than grounded legal reasoning. Consequently, they may generate references to non existent case laws or statutes or judicial opinions, presenting them with stylistic accuracy that creates an illusion of authority. This could lead to grave implications, such as courts relying on fictitious precedents or erroneous filings and professional misconduct among advocates. How do you think legal teams can manage the risks of hallucinations or inaccuracies of AI generated outputs?
It's a very valid question and the most debated topic in the legal tech world. I have to comment the first step is that we have to accept hallucinations aren't isn't a bug. They are a feature of how these systems work. Legal teams should build structured guardrails, very important. They should always verify outputs generated by AI. They should use AI tools connected to authoritative legal databases like ManuPatra and not depend on open LLM sources where they scrape the internet and pull up the sources. Implement review workflows. No AI output should go unchecked. Very important. And teams should be trained to question AI, not to trust it blindly. AI output has to be treated as the first draft, whether it's a summary or a translation, part of a workflow, whatever. It is your first draft where human in the loop is the most important part. It needs to be verified. It's less about eliminating risks completely and more about managing it intelligently. The firms that will succeed will treat AI outputs like junior drafts, useful but always reviewed.
Definitely, Deepak, and thank you for sharing that insight with us. And like you mentioned, I think structured oversight is necessary. AI can accelerate legal workflows, but without strong validation mechanisms, it can just as quickly introduce risks as well. And I think human in the loop review is key here. Legal teams can't afford to treat AI outputs as final. They need to treat them as a starting point that still requires expert scrutiny and accountability. And again, because in legal, which is a very sensitive area where there's a lot of data privacy is involved, even a small hallucination can have significant consequences. Great. Moving ahead, I think for a long time the legal industry has been characterized by its adherence to tradition and its high barriers to entry. Legal services are often expensive, time consuming, and complex, making them inaccessible to many individuals and businesses. This is particularly true for complex areas of law, such as those related to emerging technologies like AI and Web3. The result is such that the landscape that is created is often difficult to navigate without significant resources. However, again, technology is beginning to change this. We have online legal advice, automated contract generation. So it is making legal services accessible and affordable. Yet, I think these advancements are just the beginning. The true potential of technology in democratizing access to legal services is only just starting to be realized. So, do you see AI democratizing access to legal services and what impact it could have on the industry?
AI has the potential and a very big potential to make basic legal support more accessible and affordable. Things like drafting simple contracts, understanding rights, or navigating legal processes. These could become available to far more people, including the common man, as you yourself suggested. That said, it's a double-edged sword also. More access doesn't always means better outcome if the information isn't accurate or properly understood. For the industry, it could mean a shift, less focus on routine work and more emphasis on complex, high value advisory. In a way, AI could expand the legal market rather than shrink it.
Definitely, Deepak. And of course, AI has the potential to, improve the efficiency and also expand the access, also making it affordable by bringing legal guidance, the strong pillars or the basic pillars that we need in legal assistance closer to individuals and small businesses who may have never engaged with the system before. And I think it will be interesting to see how the industry, basically legal professionals evolve in their roles in a landscape where tech becomes a collaborator rather than just a tool. Now, of course, we have been talking about the impact of AI, and AI has the potential to free up, professionals' times and improve client experience and support better decision making across matters and litigation strategy. Yet, for all the discussion, genuinely embedded AI adoption remains rare. This isn't because legal leaders fail to see the opportunity. It's because applying AI in a profession built on judgment or accountability and trust is uniquely complex. What are some of the barriers that you have witnessed in terms of AI adoption in legal firms, and how do you think we can address them?
Biggest barriers that we have noticed are not technical, what a lot of people assume, but they're more cultural and structural. Law is inherently risk averse and for good reason. So, introducing a technology that can make mistakes feel uncomfortable. Other key challenges that we have noticed are lack of trust in AI outputs, data privacy and confidentiality concerns, unclear ROI, resistance to change established workflows. This is a mindset change which is the most difficult to crack. Addressing all these require a top-down approach where the senior partners or the CEOs have to guide the lower associates to start using AI and start with low use risk cases so that they get confidence. They can start measuring how much time they are saving. So there is an ROI. Training the team is the most important. Just by giving them tools, now you have this tool summarized, it doesn't help them. You have to train them for the right prompts and build clear policies around usage. Adoption isn't about forcing change, it's about making people comfortable with it.
Definitely, Deepak, and it highlights how multi-layered AI adoption in the legal space truly is. And like you mentioned, it's not a tech challenge. It's equally about the mindset, trust, and the way legal institutions have traditionally operated. And of course, when we talk about legal industry, by nature, it's built on precision and risk aversion. So integrating something as dynamic and evolving as AI requires a fundamental shift in how they evaluate these tools and outcomes. And as you rightly pointed out, concerns around data privacy, ethical responsibility, and regulatory compliance make this transition even more complex. So, Deepak, since we mentioned about, mindset shift and other challenges as barriers to adoption, one last question for you, that what is one mindset shift you would suggest to legal leaders so that they can successfully embrace AI? What would it be?
One thing will be to treat AI not as a risk, but as a collaborator for argumenting legal judgments. Teams should not be afraid of AI, but should be encouraged to experiment what it can do, what are its capabilities. And the last one, most important, AI is not to reduce cost, but it has to be integrated in your workflow so that you derive the maximum efficiencies from all the AI tools available.
Right, Deepak, and I think AI adoption is as much a leadership challenge as a tech one. And the essential mind shift involves embracing experimentation, human centered leadership, long term strategic thinking, and ethical accountability. So, leaders who internalize these principles create organizations that not only implement AI effectively, but also achieve sustainable growth and innovation. Well, thank you so much, Deepak, for taking out the time and effort to be on a podcast today and, helping us understand that the impact of AI on legal services is profound, by automating routine tasks or providing affordable legal advice through the democratization and enhancing decision-making capabilities. It has a potential to make legal services effective, efficient, and accessible. Of course, there are certain challenges that are associated with it, but law firms must not only adapt to the rise of AI, but also shape its future. This involves embracing new technologies, continuously learning and adapting, and playing a key role in shaping AI regulations and ethical guidelines. Thank you so much, Deepak, for your insight. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Great. So, this is for our listeners. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion around the impact of AI in the legal profession. You can choose to view AI as a threat, or you can embrace it as an opportunity to improve the quality and efficiency of your work and to shape a future where tech and law work together in the service of justice. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes, and you can view all our previous episodes on Spotify and other leading platforms. Thank you so much.